Hey there, I'm Kelley Norton and this is Tammi Nixon.
And we're with the Arizona Living Group, and today we're going to talk about new builds.
Yes, so we are going to give you some information that you really want to know if you're thinking about buying a new home. We're going to give you tips and tricks and let you know what little changes you might make to the home that may affect the way the home looks, the square footage, your pocketbook, and a lot more. So stay tuned for today's video. Hi, I'm Kelley Norton, your AZ Realty lady at EXP Realty. Count on me for all things Arizona real estate. So if this is your first time to our channel, I'm Kelley Norton, and you may know me as the AZ Realty lady, but I'm also the owner of the Arizona Living Group.
And I'm Tammi Nixon. I'm one of the relocation specialists with the Arizona Living Group.
We wanted to show you this house that we're in front of. One of the things that you guys want to be aware of when you're picking new construction, you're going to have options of elevation.
Yes, and elevation will change the look of the front of your house. Some elevations will give you like a front porch. Some will give you a stone on front of your house.
Yeah, and some of them will even give you like a little pony wall, which creates a little front courtyard area. Some have courtyards. It's just going to depend. And even on some of the elevations, you're going to get a different pitch on your roof, which can affect what you're going to have as far as your ceiling heights, or whether the pitch is going to be just a slant, or if you're going to have like an A-frame type pitch inside the house. Yes. It also can affect windows and what windows you have. So definitely something to look at. So when you're thinking about doing that, we want to actually go inside each home and make sure there's not a change.
One of the other things we'd like to talk about is if you're going to add pavers on your patio like this one, or your entry as you approach the house.
Yes, so when you're building the house, if you build it without the paver option, they're going to pour the slab out here for the patio. Then if you add the pavers later, then you're adding on top of that. So then anything you build in your landscaping, they're gonna have to build up to that. So you want to keep that in mind. It's good to get pavers. If you want the pavers, that sometimes is better to do through the builder. And lately they haven't been overcharging for that. It's been really reasonable. So I would definitely say if you want to have pavers on your patio or in your front entry or the driveway, do it with the builder, because then they're just going to stack it straight down and you don't have to worry about trying to adjust your landscaping for it. It'll be a seamless continuance for your landscaping, and then if you're getting a pool as well. So one of the first things that you're going to pick when you buy a new construction that you're building from the ground up is going to be that elevation that we discussed out front in the wind tunnel. And the other thing is going to be your paint choice. So remember, a lot of the houses right now, you can build from the ground up. You can pick your floor plan, your lot, all of your upgrades, but there are some where they're finished for you. So one of the things that you're going to need to choose is paint.
And a lot of paint color looks different when you see it in person rather than on the computer screen or on a board that they have all the paint colors. So we suggest that you drive around the neighborhood and kind of check out the paint colors, kind of like during the day, different times of day, and get a real good idea of what those paint colors look like.
Yeah, like she said, different times of day are going to make them look different. So sometimes a paint color might look a little more purple, it might look a little more gray. So you want to just know different times of day. And what we can do for you, again, we like to represent you on new construction or resale. So if you're buying new construction, what we're going to do is we're going to get a list. We're going to find out which houses have your elevation and your paint colors, so that we can actually drive you by and give you a really good feel of what it's going to look like. And when you're buying a new home and you're buying from the sales agent, there's a lot of those things that you're not going to remember to ask. You're not going to know what to ask. And these are just little tiny scale of all of the things that you're gonna want to do to make sure you're buying the right home. So these are just some little tips and tricks that we're giving you now, but there's a lot more that we can help you with as well.
Just a lot of information that goes into buying a new home.
A lot, yes, definitely a lot. So one of the other things that you're going to be choosing when you buy that new construction home is when you do your contract, they're going to need your structural options. Now, we wanted to go over with you what that means. What is a structural option? Now, this is something that you're going to be sitting down or over the phone telling the sales agent when they ask you certain questions. So one of the things is going to be your ceiling height. If they give you an option of ceiling height, 9 foot, 10 foot, some of them even have higher ceilings than that.
Yeah.
So those are going to be those options. Another one is going to be door height. So some builders offer 8-foot upgraded doors. Otherwise, they're that 6.5, 7-foot standard door, and that makes a difference in a house.
It makes it look and feel bigger when the ceilings and the doors are set at a higher level.
Right, and there's a cost to these things, right?
Yes.
So that's why we always like to make sure that we're getting you a kind of mock up of your price so that you have an idea, because these structural items are separate from your design center options.
Yes.
So those beautiful cabinets and those beautiful countertops and the flooring and all those upgrades and bells and whistles, those are different. Those are in addition to your structural changes.
And all of it's in addition to the base price of the home.
Right, right, exactly. Now, one thing that we want to show you is in this particular home that we're standing in is one of the structural options would be a wall of glass. So right here, they're actually showing it as a slider. You may have seen this in another video that I did of this floor plan where I was showing you this is an option. So right here, they show this as a slider, a window, a wall, and then there's another window over here. In this floor plan and in many where it's like this, you have an option to completely get rid of the wall and have it be 2 big giant sliders that come together at the corner here, which gives you the option to open this up completely, and then as you come into your living area, your outdoor is now indoor. Now, most builders, that option can be usually over $30,000. So it just depends if it's something that's important to you. And one of the things to remember, when you do the wall of glass, you don't have a wall there to put furniture next to. So sometimes the floor plans are too small in the living room when you do that you don't really have anywhere for your designed space for your furniture.
Yeah.
So these are things that we'll kind of point out for you just so that you are thinking about those things, because anything that you want to do to your house, we have actually heard from people when they go to sell the house what they liked or disliked about the options they chose. And I actually have a big giant multi-slider. I bought the home as a second owner, and once I moved in, I realized, gosh, this space is not big enough for me to have my furniture the way I like it and have the door open. So every time that I want to entertain, I want to have a party, I have to move the couches so that you can go in and out and make it open. So it's kind of a pain in the butt, really. But in a big living room like the floor plan we're in right now, you have room to move your furniture completely away from that slider because there's a walkway that goes there. It usually becomes more of a problem when there's not a walkway next to this area, because then you have the furniture has to be up against a wall, and without an actual wall there, it's up against your slider.
Yeah,
so
limits your space.
Yeah, so just little things to think about. The other option is sometimes they'll let you do another slider on this side. And do a wall slider here. You'll still have your wall, and then you'll have a mini slider instead of a full glass all the way around. So again, different budgets, different options, but these are usually structural changes. Now there's 1 or 2 builders that call that a design center change, but for the most part, builders have you do that structural because you're changing your trusses. You're changing the structural build of your home to be able to carry that roof load without having this load-bearing wall here.
Some other structural items that we can talk about today are like outlets. Like, for instance, this outlet right here. These can be added, you can move them, you can add more. You can do outlets that are underneath the cabinets and so they're out of view. There's lots of different things that we can do with structural outlets.
Right, and these are things that, again, are options that you want to kind of know when you're getting ready to do that appointment. And we'll walk you through kind of some of this stuff. We'll always take you through the model and talk through some of this stuff. Another thing too would be sometimes at structural, they'll have options for different size islands. So a lot of times that's something that they'll have us, decide up front. Other builders do it at design, but for the most part, that's a structural item that they tell us. And then the other would be room extensions. So sometimes there's options to do a 2-foot room extension, a 4-foot garage extension. And those are things that you'll need to do up front when you're...
Like a patio?
Yeah,
outside
patio extensions.
extension.
Sometimes they'll have, it's called a 90-degree wrap patio, where it wraps around like the dining room window, and so that's an option too. Now, something that we want to keep in mind is a lot of people say, hey, what's an important upgrade? I can tell you a lot of people sitting down go, I don't really think that a garage extension is something that I need. Do you plan on keeping the small car that you have now forever? Because vehicles are getting bigger, with trucks getting bigger and SUVs getting bigger, I'm seeing people buy homes based on garage length.
Yeah.
So
what their vehicle can fit in.
Yes, exactly. I have people that will not buy a house if their truck won't fit in the garage. They don't want it in the driveway. So something to think about. And again, this is what we're here for, right? We're here to have you think a little bit more outside the box, because these aren't things that you're thinking of. You're just thinking about how you're going to be living in the home, which is excellent. And I do tell people, think about what your need is before thinking about, hey, I'm going to do that just for resale. So we're standing in a den, and a den conversion to a bedroom, that is a structural change. So that's something that you want to know whether or not you want to do that. Now, a den, a lot of people say, oh, is that going to change the value of the home? It's not going to be a huge change. As long as you have that extra space, for most people, they can figure out a way to put doors on later. But what it does do is it can close off the feel of the home depending where that den is if you turn it into a bedroom. So it's always a good idea for us to take you over to one where they've converted it to the bedroom, so you can walk through it and feel it. Yeah. Because in theory, you think, oh, okay, hey, that's a great idea. Let's make that a bedroom. But then when you actually see it, it really can change the lighting coming through the house. Because right here, all the light here is coming, it's going all the way across the hallway. It's going out there. When you close this up, you lose all the light in here. So it really can make a difference.
Can change the whole look of the house, really.
Look and feel.
Yeah. Some other structural upgrades that we'd like to talk about are like the utility door from the garage, the one that goes you can go probably to the side of your backyard.
Yeah.
Another one would be a sink in the laundry room, like an addition of a sink in the laundry room.
RV gates is another one that they want to know up front. So a lot of times when people are asking us, because most of the time we're sitting with you when you're doing these options for your structural, and we'll ask a question of you to have you think so that you can figure out if it's good. So one of the questions I ask, if someone says, is an RV gate important? Do you plan on putting in a pool? If you plan on putting in a pool, you have to remember most pool builders do not allow you to start building your pool until after closing, which means all the fences have to be up around the property for them to get occupancy. So certification of occupancy, that comes from the city, and they have to have all your fences up and all your gates. So in order for the pool builder to then come in and build and get a tractor back there, guess what? Your fence is coming down. And they're going to add that to your cost for building. So a lot of times, if you pay for the RV gate, it's the same, if not less, than putting up your block wall once you build the pool.
Gives them access, easier access.
Yeah, easier access to get that tractor through. But also what's so awesome is now you have an RV gate. So if you decide that you're gonna maybe get a jet ski, have something that's below the fence line that you park back there. I also ask people, do you have a little utility trailer? What do you do for a living? Do you ever plan on having some kind of a toy that's on a trailer that needs to be parked on the side yard? There's a lot of benefits for having an RV gate. If you're not a swimmer, you don't want a pool ever, and you have zero, intention of having anything that you're going to tow, then no, don't get an RV gate. And some people say, well, isn't it good for resale? You don't want to spend a bunch of money for the next owner if you're not going to enjoy it yourself. So certainly keep that in mind.
So something else that we can talk about of one of the upgrades would be like the chef's kitchen. This definitely would be something that we would suggest if you wanted to upgrade before you move in, not one of those that you would do after the fact.
Yes, exactly. So it changes how your cabinets are installed, because some of them are going to go from having a slide-in range to having, wall-mounted ovens instead of just a combo oven and cooktop. So it really can change how your cabinets are. So also, if you're going to be doing a vent hood, how tall your cabinets are, it really does change things. And also, if you want like a counter depth refrigerator, there's a lot of changes that can happen there that if you try and do that later, you're looking at redoing the entire kitchen. So a lot better to do it at the time that you are building the house.
Yes.
So now we're going to talk about some of these design center options, and there's some tips and some tricks that we want to talk about to help you save money at the design center. So when you're at the design center, you again have to remember that things that you're choosing, oftentimes the builder is making some type of money off of that. So it's certainly not the cheapest
route to go.
route to go.
Yeah.
But you have to think about, okay, am I paying cash? Then it's probably better to not get some of these things through the builder, because it's cash is cash, right?
Yeah.
But if you're financing and you don't have the extra cash to do these things outside of closing, then a lot of times people will just roll it into the loan. So you have to look at your financial situation to be able to see what route is going to work best for you. Some of the things that we are talking about here, let's talk about the most important things to get right when you're at the design center. So the expensive things are going to be your cabinets, your countertops, and of course those structural changes which you talked about before. But at the design center, it's really cabinets and counters, guys, those can be so expensive. And flooring also, however, sometimes you have carpeting in just the bedrooms that's included. Maybe you want to upgrade that flooring in just the bedrooms. So doing that after might save you money. So what we recommend is that you kind of think about the things that you might want to do aftermarket. We have a list of contacts that really guarantee pricing for our customers, and like our blinds and shutter guy, he won't be beat in Arizona. Our appliance guy gives incredible pricing. I really don't know many people that can beat his pricing. So same with flooring, tile backsplashes, stuff like that. You just want to do a comparison. Window treatments, your washer, dryer, and refrigerator are not included in almost every new build. Very, very rarely, maybe in a spec home they'll include it, but
or as an incentive.
Sometimes we can get those included. But for the most part, those appliances you're going to need to furnish yourself. So if you buy it through the builder, it's usually a bit more expensive. So that's a point that you can save money at. Definitely the window treatments, and then right here next to us, pendant lighting. So your fans, your lights. Now a lot of people will just get the included. Pendant lights, they aren't included. So one of the things that you can add when you're doing that electrical appointment is you can add the pre-wires for pendant lights. You can add pre-wires for extra fans or speakers and things on the patio. And then getting those systems, getting those aftermarket, so away from the builder, a lot of times will save you some money.
So this is a design center option, and sometimes the builders will not even include this, even though they are showing this in the home, in the model. So it's kind of like a piece of furniture that they're showing, and it's staged. They will not include it. But Kelley and I do have contacts for people who can do this for you after close.
Exactly. And there are some builders that do include it, like she said, but there are a couple that don't. And you know, we sell so much new construction, we can certainly help you with that to know, okay, who does, what does it? And that's why when we're walking through the models with you, we can certainly help you out with that. Now, one thing to make note of is if you do this with the builder, oftentimes there's a premium that the builder is making off of this. So we just want to make sure that you guys understand that if you can build this for a lot less aftermarket.
We hope you enjoyed this video today and you found it informative.
So we figured we would just show you how it's nice to enjoy your home that you've built. We're sitting out in a beautiful finished new build home in the backyard. So we're just wanting to give you a little taste of what it would like to have your home finished and be able to relax and enjoy. If you like the content we're providing, please go ahead and click the bell and subscribe to the channel. If you want to book an appointment for us to help you find your new home, or you just have questions about your upcoming relocation, go ahead and click contact us on our website. All the information is on the channel here, and you can also call or text. Thank you so much, guys. Take care. Bye.